Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while, but I decided to make this video of a question and answer on my breast augmentation surgery. So I do have a paper that I will be looking at. If you see me looking down at all, it's just me looking at the questions that I have gotten a lot, so I can go over all of it with you. I got my surgery done on April 29th of 2019, so it was about 2.5 months ago now. I got them done in Scottsdale, Arizona by Dr. Carlos Mata, or his Instagram handle is at Dr. Scottsdale, and you can view his surgeries on there. He posts a lot of his surgeries on there, so you can actually get to see the surgery being done, which is awesome because it kind of eases your worries and it just makes you feel more comfortable that way. Okay, so the number one question I get is how many cc's did I go? So I went to 550 cc's gummy bear implants, and they are high profile and they are the silicone. So the number one thing I would say is that implants look different on everyone. So just because a 550 cc's looks ginormous on one person doesn't mean they're going to look ginormous on another. It just depends on how much space you're trying to either fill or how much you started with. Depends on how they're going to look. So I know people that have gone with 400 and they look really huge for them. And I know people that have gotten 400 and it looks small. So it really depends on your body and your build. So definitely do kind of what your doctor says. I was a little bit skeptical to go as big as I was thinking I was going because everyone said, no, don't go that big. That's way too big for your body. But he recommended that because I had a lot of space to fill after having the baby and breastfeeding. My boobs shrunk so much, and you'll get to see that in the post-op or the procedure that I'll be posting, because I am going to be posting the actual procedure itself, and you can see how much skin I had to fill. It was crazy. So he made the right recommendation for my body, so that size was perfect. Number two, everyone always wants to know cost, and cost is pretty much different for everyone, and it kind of depends on where you go, and what time of year you're booking, and if they have any specials going on. So I did book during a special, so mine was $5,800, but I also added on a crescent lift instead of a full lift. A crescent lift is where they kind of do a crescent circle and they cut off extra skin to kind of help raise your nipples, just so that because one of them was pointing down kind of before, and that was an extra $1,000 on top of it. So my total surgery was $6,800, but again, everyone's is different just depending on what they have to do, and if you go with silicone or saline, they have different prices. So. And if you do a lift or not. I did not do a lift. I just did the crescent, which was an extra $1,000. Number two that a lot of people ask, if I went below the muscle or above the muscle. I actually went above the muscle just because of where my muscle stops. My muscle stops about here. So if they would have went above the muscle, my boob would have been way up here, which some people do get them there, but because of how my boobs were so low and I wasn't getting a lift, it was not possible. So I got it above the muscle, which is actually a lot faster on healing time, which was perfect because I do have a toddler at home. I have a 18-month-old, so it was definitely difficult to take care of him after the surgery. So my grandpa was here pretty much every day for the first week because I couldn't lift him. You're not allowed to lift anything over 15 or 10 to 15 pounds for the first 2 weeks. So I did have his help at home because I couldn't lift him to put him in the high chair. I couldn't lift him up and down the stairs. I couldn't lift him to put him in the car. So that is something to consider if you do have small children, is that you will need help at home. Number three, everyone wants to know if it was painful. Again, I did go above the muscle, so it is a lot less painful from what I have heard. I only took pain pills the first 2 days, the day of surgery and the day after surgery. After that, I did not need pain pills anymore. It was just uncomfortable to sit up just because your like chest was still like kind of like healing. So I would have my husband like help lift me up and like push my back up if I needed to sit up, and sleeping was kind of uncomfortable. I kind of slept raised on the couch for the first like couple days, just because it was too hard to lay flat because I couldn't get up by myself. Number 4, everyone wants to know what incision I went with, and because I did do the crescent lift, I did do through the nipple. A lot of people do get it like underneath your breast fold, or you can do it through the armpit, but I did through the nipple. The next question is, did I get a lift? I did not get an official lift where they lift all of your boobs up. I just did the baby lift, which was the crescent lift. Next question is, what size am I now? So I am about a 34 double D in bras right now, and starting out beforehand, I was about a 34C, I would say. So it really ranges though, because before I was pregnant, I had size D's, and then when I was pregnant and like while I was breastfeeding, I was a double D. And so I pretty much went back to the size that I was because I had so much extra skin on my boobs that you could literally like pinch the skin, and like they were so low because I pretty much only had like the bottom half of my boob. The top half was just gone. It was just flat. So yeah, that's why I did end up going with the procedure and going as big as I did, because I was filling up all the space that I had extra, so I didn't have to stretch my boobs at all. I do know that if you have small boobs and you're trying to go really big, that you can get stretch marks and stuff, just because it is such a fast stretching and they can only put so much in there because the skin hasn't been stretched out. But mine, there was a lot of space to fill, so that is why I did go as large as I did. And so a little bit about the healing process. So I did vlog the whole procedure and like a little bit of the after procedure, so I did talk about it a little bit in that video. But they used surgical glue to heal everything up, and I think it took a full 2 weeks for the surgical glue to all come off. And which is pretty intense, like the day after and everything, like looking at it, it looks really bad. But they are officially dropped and everything is pretty much healed on them. So they're soft, they're squishy. You would not be able to tell that they're fake, besides that they look a little bit fake, but they definitely don't feel fake, which I was definitely worried about. But they are soft, they're not hard, they're dropped, so they look natural. Because I didn't get the lift, they aren't way up here, so they look a little more natural. But I will show you what my scars look like, and yeah. So this is what these scars look like now. So they are still healing and they will lighten up over time. This side is definitely less noticeable. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, and if you have any more questions, please drop them down below and I will definitely answer them in another video if you guys want to see more. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.